Dear students, welcome to the session. In this session, we are going to discuss about effects of air pollutants on human beings. This topic come under Unit 2. So now we are going for revision of second unit. So in second unit, we are going to discuss about effects of air pollutants on human beings. Okay. In this session, the contents I'm going to cover are introduction, effects of particulate matter on human beings, and effects of gaseous pollutants on human beings. So as we know that there are two types of air pollutants are there. First one is particulate matter and next one is the gaseous pollutants. Particulate matter is nothing but the pollutant which can suspend in atmosphere, and either it may solid or liquid, but it should be suspended in atmosphere, and also it should be microscopic in size. So such pollutants are called as particulate matter, and the pollutants which are in gaseous state are called as gaseous pollutants. So in this session we are going to discuss about how particulate matter or how suspended particles in atmosphere can affect human beings, and how gaseous pollutants can affect human beings. So first of all, we see about introduction is nothing but what is air pollution and how the air pollution is danger to human beings. Okay, we can see now air pollution is one of the great environmental evils. The air we breathe has not only life supporting properties, also have life damaging properties. On an average, a man breathes 22,000 times a day and takes 16 kg of air each day. So this is the important thing, you have to remember that a man per day he needs 16 kgs of air for survival. Understand? No? And under ideal conditions, the air which we inhale has a qualitative and quantitative balance that maintain the well-being of man. But when the balance is damaged, the air may affect human health. And the prime factors which affect the human health due to air pollutants are nature of the pollutants, concentration of the pollutants, duration of exposure, state of health of receptors, age group of receptor. So these are all the various factors which can affect the influence of air pollutants on human beings. First one is the nature of the pollutants. It means few pollutants may organic in nature and few pollutants may inorganic in nature. So if the pollutants are organic in nature, especially they can cause bad odors to human beings, and also they can cause various respiratory problems. But if the pollutants are inorganic in nature, especially they can undergo some chemical reactions with uh, various parts of human beings. Like if the pollutant is inorganic in nature, it will go some chemical reaction with the human blood. If and also it can go some chemical reactions with the various liquids present in human body. So like that, if you take sulfur dioxide is an organic gas, and the sulfur dioxide can cause various bad odors to human beings, and it will cause various respiratory problems to human beings. And if you take carbon monoxide is an inorganic gas, and it will cause immediately whenever we inhale carbon monoxide, it will react with blood in human body, or it will especially it will react with the hemoglobin of blood in human body, and then it will produce a product called carboxyhemoglobin. This is highly dangerous. So like that, so the nature of the pollutants will depends on the influence of, or the rate of influence of air pollutants on human body. And next to the concentration of pollutants. Concentration of pollutants, this is the most important thing we have to remember, that the concentration of pollutants. So whenever we need to explore, or whenever we need to determine the exact causes and exact effects of air pollutants on human beings, we need to study, or we need to measure the concentration of air pollutants in human beings. So for this concentration of air pollutants in atmosphere, especially in atmosphere or in ambient atmosphere, we have various guidelines as per WHO, as per Indian standards, as per US, and as per Environmental Protection Agency. So like that various and also Central Pollution Control Board. So like that we are having various recommendations which can provide, or which can recommend the permissible limits for the concentration of pollutants in ambient atmosphere. So if every pollutant should have some concentration in atmosphere, if it is present in atmosphere, so at low concentrations some pollutants may not cause any harm to human beings. At higher concentrations they can cause harm to human beings. And if you take some pollutants, even they present at low concentration, or even they present in atmosphere at 0.000 1% or 0.001 milligram per liter also, they can cause effects. It means they can cause various harmful effects to human beings. So like that, the concentration of air pollutants is the most important thing in case of influence of air pollutants on human beings. And next one is the duration of exposure. So this is also one important term. You have to remember that if we need to study the effects of air pollutants on human body, we need to study about the duration of exposure or duration of exposure of human body to the pollutant, or duration of exposure of that particular environment to the pollutant. So that is the most important thing. And if we consider, even if we be contact with the sulfur dioxide per an hour, we may not feel. It means that sulfur dioxide may not cause any effects on human beings. And if we be contact with or if we be if a human body is exposed to a pollutant like nitrogen dioxide. So if a human body is exposed to nitrogen dioxide for a 1 hour or 2 hours, it means the nitrogen dioxide cannot cause any effect to the human being. But if the same human body is exposed to nitrogen dioxide per day, so then the nitrogen dioxide can cause some effects, harmful effects to that human body. So like that. So the duration of exposure of human body to the particular pollutant is also important thing. We have to remember that. And one more thing we have to remember, that if the concentration of if a particular concentration of sulfur dioxide entered into atmosphere, that concentration in atmosphere is stable for at least 4 days. So like that. So, and one more thing you have to remember, that in case of carbon monoxide, if the carbon monoxide entered into atmosphere, within hours it will be disappears from the atmosphere. So like that. So it means the lifetime or the duration of particular concentration of pollutants in atmosphere also different. So in the sense, the duration of exposure of human body to the particular pollutant is also important thing. And the next one is the state of health of receptors. So this is also one more important thing that we have to consider. If the human is already have few diseases like hepatitis or diabetes or uh, cardiac problems, so then if he is exposed to pollutants, immediately he will be very badly affected by the pollutants. And if a healthy person is exposed to pollutant, it means he may not get that much of influence of the it means he may not that much he may not get that much affected by the pollutants. So like that. So it means the state of health of the receptors also important, because in case of sulfur dioxide, the person who is already having asthma will be affected very badly by the sulfur dioxide. If the person who is not having asthma, that person may not affected by the sulfur dioxide. So that's why. So like that, if the person who is having already cardiac problems or heart problems, if he is exposed to carbon monoxide, immediately he will get heart attack and he will die. If the person who is not having any cardiac problems, if he is exposed to carbon monoxide, he will not face that much of problem with the carbon monoxide. So like that, the state of health of receptors also is an important thing we have to consider. And age group of the receptor. So this is also important thing. If the children whose age is below 10, it means they may easily affected by the air pollutants. If the people whose age is above 60, if they are exposed to air pollution or any air pollutants, they may get affected very badly. And if young people exposed to the air pollutants, they may not get that much of effects from the air pollutants, health effects. So like that. So these are all the various parameters we need to study, that the influence of air pollutants are the it means are the quantity of effects of air pollutants on human body. So while if we need to study about the effects of air pollutants on human body, we need to consider all these parameters. And these are the parameters which can influence the effects of air pollutants on human body. Important thing. This is the important question for 2 marks or 3 marks you may get. That much important it is. You can see here. So the nature of pollutants, concentration of the pollutants, duration of exposure, state of health of receptor, age group of receptor. So this is the most important question. And next one is the particulate matter. Particulate matter, as we already discussed, is that the particle which can suspend in atmosphere and which is microscopic in size and which can cause harmful effects to human beings, that is considered as particulate matter. And the pollution caused due to particulate matter is called as particulate matter pollution or particle pollution. We have to remember that. Particulate matter pollution or particle pollution or particulate matter pollution. If the air pollution is caused due to that particulate matter, that is called as PM pollution or particle pollution. Okay, so the particulate matter is a complex mixture of airborne particles. Airborne particles is nothing but the particle which can travel along with air. Such particles are called as airborne particles. So the particulate matter is a complex mixture of airborne particles that differ in size, origin, and chemical composition, all of which are microscopic in size. So it means the particulate matter, all are microscopic in size. It means the particle whose size we can measure by using microscope, those particles are called as microscopic particles. And examples of particulate matter are dust, smoke, mist, fog, fume, etc. So about all these different types of particulate matter we have discussed in first unit. Okay. And particulate matter is one among the most harmful pollutants. Another names of particulate matter are SPM. SPM is nothing but standard particulate matter. Aerosols. Aerosols is nothing but whenever the particulate matter is suspending in atmosphere, at that time they are called as aerosols. And whenever the particles or particulate matter deposited or taking rest on surface of earth or surface of anything, at that time they are called as particulate matter. And whenever the particulate matter is suspension in air, at that time they are called as aerosol. Next one is the RSP. RSP is nothing but respiratory suspended matter. It means the particles, whenever they are suspending in our respiratory tract or respiratory system, at the time they are called as RSP. And next name is fine particles, and next name is soot. So these are all the various names given to the particulate matter. And the first one is that SPM. SPM is nothing but standard particulate matter. So standard particulate matter is nothing but the particles have certain sizes. It means for the analysis of particulate matter, we have been divided particulate matter into three categories. First one is PM 2.5, next one is PM 10, and next one is PM 0.1. And the particles whose size is less than 2.5 microns, they all are come under PM 2.5. And the particles whose size is in between 2.5 to 10 microns, they are called as PM 10. And the particles whose size is around 0.1 microns, and they are called as PM 0.1. So this is about the standard particulate matter. And in this session, we are going to see about what are all the health effects caused by PM 2.5, and what are all the health effects caused by PM 10, and what are all the health effects caused by PM 0.1. We will see here. And these are the various sources of particulate matter. First one is natural sources. Natural sources of particulate matter are volcanic eruptions, dust storms, forest fires, living vegetation, and sea spray. Living vegetation means the various grass, flowers, trees, they will release various some particles from their surfaces or from their bodies. So those particles coming out from flowers or grass or trees are called as pollen. Pollen is the natural particulate matter. It means the pollen is nothing but the particle which are coming out from flowers or trees or grass. And the next one is the sea spray. Sea spray is nothing but the salt particles coming out from sea along with air. They are called as sea spray. Okay. And various anthropogenic sources. Anthropogenic sources are nothing but artificial or man-made sources of particulate matter are burning of fossil fuels. It means the burning of coal, petroleum. It means like where we burn the fossil fuels in automobiles, in industries like thermal power plants and coal industries. So like that in various industries we will burn, it means in boilers also, and metallurgical industries, smelting of metals, and incinerating of wastes. Incinerating wastes means the various treatment plants in which, it means the sewage treatment plants are municipal solid waste treatment plants, we will incinerate the waste matter. So incineration of wastes will release particulate matter like smoke, and fossil fuels, burning of fossil fuels will release particulate matter called smoke. And smelting metals, it means the metal extraction process are called as smelting metals. And the from the smelting of metals also, whereas particulate matter will be evolved in the atmosphere, they are called as sulfides. Sulfide particles are sulfuric acid particles. So sulfide particles are sulfuric acid particles coming out from smelting metals or metallurgical industries, coming from metallurgical industries. So these are all the various sources of particulate matter in atmosphere. So next one is the particulate matter. It means the various types of particulate matter. Already we have discussed the PM10, PM2.5, PM0.1. So now we will see various characteristics of this particulate matter. Okay, I will use here. PM10 is nothing but the particles whose particle size is in between 2.5 microns to 10 microns. So those particles are called as PM10. And this PM10, it means this PM10 also called as coarse particles. And these are all the coming to the characteristics of PM10. These are inhalable coarse particles, and the diameter of these particles is in between 10 to 2.5 microns. And PM10 particles undergo rapid sedimentation. They occur near roadways and dusty industries, bypass the body's natural defenses in the nose and throat, and enter lungs. It means they can enter into lungs through throat and nose. So it means only they can move through nose and throat, and they can slightly they can enter into lungs. And next one is the PM2.5. PM2.5, coming to the properties of PM2.5, these are fine particles, and the particle diameter of this PM2.5 is 2.5 microns. They remain suspended in the air and can travel extremely long distances. They emitted from power plants, industries, and automobiles. They penetrate deeper into lungs and damage lung tissues. It means they damage lung tissues. Next one is the PM0.1. So the PM0.1 particles also called as ultra fine particles, and these are nanoparticulates, and they are smaller than 0.1 micron diameter. And PM0.1 particles consist primarily of inorganic ions, hydrocarbons, and metals. This PM0.1 particles passes from lung tissue into bloodstream, and they can circulate like oxygen molecules. It means you can see here PM10 particles only they can deposit in respiratory tract, and a few of PM10 can enter into lungs. And the next one is the PM2.5 particles. They can enter into lungs and they can cause damages to lungs. And the next particle is the PM0.1. These particles they can enter into lungs, and also they can enter into blood, and also they can move all over the human body. So these are all the various effects and various properties of PM10, PM2.5, and PM0.1. And adverse health effects caused by particulate matter. You can see here PM10 are inhalable particles. They deposit upper respiratory tract, and they can travel through large airways like nose and throat, and they are cleared out. It means they easily we can clear out them. And PM2.5 are fine particles. They deposit in deeper lungs. They stay in lungs for longer period of time. And the next one is the PM0.1 are ultra fine particles. They enter into blood, and they can travel throughout the body. And adverse health effects caused by particulate matter. Here we can see various effects of particulate matter, especially the particulate matter are irritant in nature. It means they can cause various irritations. They can cause skin irritation also. It means they also can cause skin irritation, and they can irritate eye, nose, throat, and skin also. And their inflammation of lung tissue, they can cause inflammation of lung tissue. They decrease lung function. they develop chronic lung diseases. It means the chronic lung diseases means the disease which can be in human body for longer time. So those diseases are called as chronic diseases. Like if you take diabetes, it is a chronic disease. And if you take low blood pressure or high blood pressure, it is a chronic disease. It means the human body will face the disease for a long period of time. So the such diseases are called as chronic diseases. So this particulate matter can cause chronic lung diseases, and the severity of asthma attacks in children. And the particulate matter also cause preterm birth and low birth weight. It means at the time of birth, the infants have, it means they may have less weight than they should have usual. And it means the delivery of women will be too much. It means too much early they can deliver a baby. It means especially 9 months will take to give delivery, but due to the effect of particulate matter, the woman will give birth to baby within 7 months or 8 months. So like that. So this is the one more important effect of particulate matter in human body. And next one is the particulate matter also cause premature death in people with heart and lung diseases. And especially the particulate matter can cause various diseases. Those diseases are asthma, bronchitis, pneumonia, lung cancer, and also they can cause various respiratory diseases. And next one is people at risk. It means the people, it means the children whose age is under 18 years, they can, it means they are susceptible to air pollutants. And the adults whose age is above 60, they are also easily susceptible to air pollutants. It means they're mostly affected, it means they can immediately affected by the air pollutants. And the people among anyone among who's having, means the people who are having lung diseases like asthma, bronchitis or emphysema, they can easily attacked by the, or they can easily affected by the particulate matter. And the people who are having heart problems also, they can easily affected by the particulate matter. And the people who are having diabetes, they are also easily affected by the particulate matter. And the, okay, so these are all the various people who are at risk with, who are at risk with particulate matter. Okay, or you may call it as people who are very sensitive to, or very people who are sensitive against particulate matter. Or these are children under age 16, above 60, people are above 60, and who are having these diseases like asthma, bronchitis and emphysema, and heart problems and diabetes. So these are all the sensitive to particulate matter. And the particulate matter also can cause various environmental effects, like they can reduce the visibility of atmosphere. And also it means whenever the snow or fog is taking place, it will reduce the visibility. It means whenever snow is taking place, and or whenever ice is falling in atmosphere, we cannot see what is in front of us. So that is called as reduction in visibility. And the particles also makes lakes and streams acidic in nature. And they also deplete the nutrients in soil, and also they cause damage to various sensitive forests and farm crops. And the particles can settle under influence of gravity, and the settling particles on surfaces of statues, monuments, buildings can damage stone and other materials. And the next one is the gaseous pollutants. We have seen that now we are going to see that effects of gaseous pollutants on human body. So we have seen that various gaseous pollutants like sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, oxides of nitrogen, carbon monoxide, lead, ozone, hydrocarbons. So like that various gaseous pollutants are there. So in first unit we have seen that what are the sources of various gaseous pollutants, and what are their permissible limits, and what are their characteristics, and how they can affect human beings. We have seen already. And here especially we will see that what are the effects of each gaseous pollutants to the human beings. So here we will see the effects of various gaseous pollutants separately. So first we will discuss about sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is pungent odor gas. it is irritant gas, and when human body inhales the sulfur dioxide, it affects our mucous membranes. Mucous membranes is nothing but inside skin is called as mucous membranes. It means the outside skin of nose is called as skin, and inside skin of nose is called as mucus. So especially it is odor gas, it is irritant gas, and especially it will affect the mucous membranes. And at you can see here, the sulfur dioxide will increase breathing rate in human body, and it causes oxygen deficiency in human body. The patients of asthma will affected very badly. The sulfur dioxide is soluble and absorbed by respiratory system. It means it is easily soluble in water. So whenever we inhale sulfur dioxide, immediately it is soluble in blood also, and also it is soluble in respiratory system. So it means it can affects with the oxygen. Sorry, sulfur dioxide can react with the oxygen in human body, and then it causes various problems related to deficiency of oxygen. So like that. So these are all the various health effects of sulfur dioxide. And the next one is the next important pollutant is oxides of nitrogen. It means in atmosphere we have seen that various types of oxides of nitrogen are there, like nitrogen monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen trioxide, dinitrogen trioxide, dinitrogen tetroxide, dinitrogen pentaxide. These are all the various forms of oxides of nitrogen. So if we inhale these oxides of nitrogen, they can cause this much of diseases. You can see here, the oxides of nitrogen can cause nose and eye irritation, and also they can cause lung problems. And the oxides of nitrogen can reduce the blood carrying capacity of human body, and also oxides of nitrogen can cause pneumonia, emphysema, lung cancer. Pneumonia, emphysema, lung cancer. Emphysema is nothing but it is a disease. Okay, you can see here, emphysema is a disease which increases weight of human body due to swelling. Due to swelling, it will increase the weight of human body. So that is the, it means it will swells the human body. This is emphysema disease, and it also causes lung cancer. And at high concentrations, the oxides of nitrogen can cause death. And the oxides of nitrogen can combines with hemoglobin in body 3 lakhs times faster than blood. You see here, the oxides of nitrogen can combines with hemoglobin in blood 3 lakhs times faster than blood. So this is the important one, you have to remember that. And these are all the various effects of oxides of nitrogen on human body. And next pollutant is carbon monoxide. So the carbon monoxide is the highly pollutant gas, highly dangerous, it is highly poisonous gas. The carbon monoxide possesses about 200 times affinity for blood hemoglobin than oxygen. Whenever we inhale carbon monoxide into our human body, immediately it reacts with the hemoglobin in our blood, and then it will form a product that is called as carboxyhemoglobin. And one more thing we have to remember here, that hemoglobin will give red color to blood. And one more thing, carboxyhemoglobin, COHP, carboxyhemoglobin will give pink color to blood. You remember that the person who inhaled carbon monoxide with high concentrations, his blood will be in pink color. Remember that. Okay, you can see here, the carboxyhemoglobin will stop the supply of oxygen or supply of blood to body tissues. So not only supply of blood, it also stops the supply of oxygen. Supply of oxygen. Okay. And the low levels of carbon monoxide causes headache, dizziness, reduction in reaction time, etc. The higher levels of carbon monoxide can cause nasa, heart strokes, difficulty in breathe, and sometimes death. So these are all the various health effects of carbon monoxide. This is highly poisonous gas, and one more thing we have to remember, that it is a highly poisonous gas, and also it is not permanent in atmosphere. This is the good thing about carbon monoxide. And next pollutant is lead. Especially lead causes coma. Whenever we inhale lead, it will cause coma to human body, and also it will stops the functioning of brain, or it will affects our nervous system, and also it affects our memory. So high concentrations of lead in atmosphere causes mental retardation, behavioral disorders, anemia, kidney malfunction, tissue damage in brain, and death in extreme poisoning. Okay, you can see here it will stops the functioning of brain and death in extreme poisoning. And we have to remember that especially lead causes coma, and also it can cause memory loss. So these are all the main effects of lead. Okay, you can see here. And the next one is the ozone. Ozone is the important pollutant. It is a secondary pollutant, and no any man-made activity can release ozone into activity. It means like industries or automobiles, and no any natural process can release ozone into atmosphere. Only various it means the ozone can be produced in atmosphere due to photochemical reactions and due to primary pollutants. It means if the sulfur trioxide or sulfur dioxide will undergo some chemical reactions in the presence of UV rays in atmosphere, and then they will produce ozone. And also nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen monoxide can undergo some chemical reactions in atmosphere in the presence of UV rays, and then they will produce ozone in atmosphere. So ozone is a secondary pollutant, and no any industry will produce ozone into atmosphere. You have to remember that. And ozone reduces lung function, and ozone also can cause cough, chest pain, sneezing, etc. It affects respiratory system too much. So this is about ozone. Next pollutant is hydrocarbons. At high concentrations, hydrocarbons can cause eye irritation and respiratory problems. Aromatic hydrocarbons are carcinogenic in nature. Carcinogenic means the pollutant of the substance which cause cancer are called as carcinogenic. Carcinogens, it means the substance which cause cancer, they are called as carcinogens. And aromatic hydrocarbons are carcinogenic in nature. It means actually hydrocarbons are two types: aliphatic hydrocarbons, aliphatic group of hydrocarbons, and next one is the aromatic hydrocarbons. So aliphatic hydrocarbons, especially they can cause respiratory problems and eye irritation. And aromatic hydrocarbons, they're carcinogenic in nature. They especially they cause lung cancer. And next pollutant is aldehydes. The aldehydes, especially they can cause irritation of mucous membranes of eye, nose, and lungs. And the next pollutant is hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide is a gas with foul odor. It creates objectionable odors to human beings. It also causes irritating effects on mucous membranes. And the next pollutant is PAN, peroxyacetyl nitrate. Peroxyacetyl nitrate is the gas produced in atmosphere due to it means due to photochemical reactions. During the formation of photochemical smog, PAN will be produced in atmosphere. It means during the formation of photochemical smog in atmosphere, the PAN, peroxyacetyl nitrate, will be formed in atmosphere. It is extremely harmful gas. It causes lung cancer. It can enter deep in lungs. So these are all the various health effects of PAN on human body. So this session we have seen about what is particulate matter and how they affect human body, and what are various gases, pollutants, and how they can affect human body. It means what kind of diseases caused by particulate matter and human body, and gases, pollutants on human body we have been discussed. Thank you. Thank you very much.